Hello, hello. Good morning or good afternoon now. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is Tuesday, 11/25th. It is 12:51 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. All right. We will have a PCE tomorrow. That's weird. Let me check. UCT 43 at 8:30. No, we won't. What? I don't see PCE here. Core PPI Tuesday. No, I don't. PCE was scheduled for tomorrow, but now I don't see that anymore. All right. Yeah, I don't see that anymore. We rather have jobless. Okay, let's check this out. Because what happened many times, markets move in advance. Um, we have GDP tomorrow at 8:30. The weekly jobs claims tomorrow. Now these were supposed to be. Usually they come on Thursday, but we have a holiday, right? Have, it's Thanksgiving in the United States, and markets will be closed tomorrow. For the weekend, I got here. The market is closing early, so we have a short day on Friday. So more of the activity, I believe, must be done or concluded within these 3 days. And I think it looks like that is what's happening here. Now, let's go and check. Let's go and check the current day. What's going on here? All right. I am watching the four charts that you can see at the top, 3 or 4 or 5 charts, something like that, are the ES. And this is the daily histograms, and this is daily histogram, but this is Nasdaq. Okay, this is Nasdaq 2, Nasdaq as well. Here, this is ES. All the ones at the top are ES, right? And this one is the volume for the ES, as we talked before. Tuesday we have an unbelievable amount of volume, really unusual, which was also matched, but the market overall having about 12 million in the composite New York Stock Exchange. the nicey. Now, as the day develops, something that I am checking here is if this area of volume can be taken. There was absolutely nothing yesterday, right? When the market closed, we have this emptiness that was left behind that did not challenge this area here, right? And when the market don't do that or does or didn't do that, right? The next thing is this upper side. Now it is there already. It remains to be seen if volume comes here and joins and add to the volume we have up here. The market that is lagging a little bit here is Nasdaq. We can see Nasdaq yesterday, for example, it absolutely did not get even close to the area of volume in the lower side. And today, I wonder if we can make any damage to the upside, right? Basically, both markets trading in this vacuum that the market printed when we had news, right? Basically, this day here, this tremendous break that we have here was based on news, right? Earnings and news. And yesterday we were talking about how this area, the area that you can see here, this 2-day balance can be used, or I was going to use, right, as a base for the current action, right? I can pretty much disregard this day, right? Because it has been pretty much balanced. And I wonder now if we can have continuation based in this 2-day range, right? I will consider if there's any breakout, it will have to come from this 2-day range, which is not something that I say will happen, but there's an scenario there, and it is the market, right? I may have a couple of scenarios in mind, but as the market develops is when I observe, right? When the market gives or not validity or any kind of validity to whatever theory I may have, right? Now, something really interesting happened today. I hope you didn't get caught in short here. I very much use these histograms to gauge the market. The interest. Let me make it smaller. Let me make this smaller because I want to show when the opportunity came. I have started this stream because I believe that the market has gotten a little bit too long now. I may need some rebalancing at the highs. Okay, let me see. This is Nasdaq. Nasdaq yesterday was very active volume-wise, very active. There was plenty of blocks all over the session, throughout the session, high, low, but consistently accumulating, right? The nuance today is that the heaviest accumulation of the volume in Nasdaq, it came from here all the way up to here, right? With all of this one here, this one's here, right? In between. And it opened way below this one, way below that, and traded downwards. But the first thing that may highlight an opportunity was both markets printing an inside bar, which is this one here. There was consistent selling that was coming here, right? There was consistent selling that was coming in this area. Now I'm going to talk about the years because that was I was watching. I was trying to watch ES because it showed volume here. Right? It showed volume here in these periods along with Nasdaq. The thing is, Nasdaq showed it inside the inside bar, and the ES after it took the high of the inside bar out. Right? What I was watching here is this market. Can this market take this day range out? Right? Take this day range out and show acceptance above that. When this happened, this market attempted multiple times, right? Multiple times to sell. I mean, it was buying. It was buying from seller, right? And attempted to sell this. And here comes the opportunity. Because what can happen here is if this market comes back inside this range, what happens is the market actually closes. Let me make this bigger. Right? The market actually closes the distributions that was here and comes inside this range, which can target the opposite side. Right? That was the first. That was what I was watching here, and it what happened? It multiple times. It did this multiple times. Come back, not multiple times, maybe 2 or 3 times. Get out of this range and come back inside. Come back inside. Inside what? Inside this range here. No? And remember, from yesterday, I have been treating this day, right, this day, as 2 days. And why I did that? Because of the distributions in the levels, which today were closed. Now that's information for another day. May not be used today, right? But when the market attempts to sell, I was bought also multiple times from seller, and takes sellers back and closes this distribution here. It is just closed by 1 tick, man, and there is absolutely nothing below that. There is absolutely nothing below that. And that's when the opportunity shows itself. Right? In this case, even if you or we could have been short here, man, having no acceptance inside or back inside this range, that's a sign, right? I usually say, if I don't close my position, if I am short, shame on me, right? Because the market is actually giving multiple opportunities, multiple times, right, to close anything. And after that, after this happened, market takes this range out. Nasdaq is still lagging, was still lagging, kind of like down here, very far, but it put the 50 moving average on side. Like it was kind of like a not clear but really good also. The market was going to make an attempt to reach that high. I mean, to this reference, because there was absolutely nothing else out there. The only thing I have to the upside was the moving average and the volume that I have here. The market has reached this volume. We still have 1 more day of trading before the holiday and before the short day and before the weekend. So probably this is going to be the day with heaviest volume. Now, as the market was doing this movement, notice what happened with volume, right? Here, this one, first period and second period, this is the ES, and what happened with the third period, right? And third period is a clear difference, right? Clear increase of volume. And this one here. And from that, it has been steady, going high. I haven't seen blocks here. Really few blocks, not even a heavy imbalance going on in the ask and bid chart. I am going to consider this day as a continuation of a really weak day that we had yesterday. We had a really questionable day yesterday. Really low volume. Just check the volume, right? Check what we have the previous days and what kind of volume we have. Compare this day, compare yesterday to the previous days, right? One of the lowest days ever. But that being said, there is a nuance. There's another nuance here, and this comes from the market, the nice volume, right? And this is very weird. This is very weird. I have to say that. And this is what this is. And this is it. Yesterday, volume was extremely low. Compare, you can compare to any other day. It was lower, right? Even lower to any of these days. But the curious thing, and this is what this is why I thought that there is something here that is brewing. I don't know if that has developed already, but as the market gets to the close, and this is L, this is M, and this is the run-off period. This market was, under regular circumstances would have ended here, closed here, around 4 million. Just check these ranges, right? These ranges here, the ranges of the 4 period, maybe even here, right? But it didn't do that. It did higher, and the run-off period was extremely high volume, right? And that amount of volume put the volume overall actually higher than all the other ones, all the previous 10 days before with Thursday, with the session of Thursday. I couldn't just ignore this. I can't just ignore this. There's something going on here, right? Coming into today's session, or maybe into the end of the current week. Now, from the weekly opening, one of the things that I have noticed in the weekly opening was the tremendous liquidation that happened during that weekly opening. At one moment in time, inventory gets to the upside, it gets long, and out of nowhere, there is a sudden liquidation. I don't know if that's going to be the case, right, for the current week, because after all, this is a really short week. But if that's going to happen, probably it's going to happen tomorrow, because Thursday the market is going to be closed, and we are going to have just half session, a short session on Friday, my bad. Can it happen on Friday? I won't say that it can't, but the odds are not that good, that much. However, if somebody wants to do something, that would be a really good day to do it, because it's going to be very thin and prices can be moved faster without much volume. during those days. All right. Now, into the current. Oh, and another thing coming into this session is what do we have in the markets, the other markets here. We have crude oil in the downside trend here. This is interesting here actually. Huh? The dollar is recovering. This is not bad actually. Right? Also, we got this thing happening. Traders love this kind of formations here. Bonds are taking the trend line, are about to take the trend line back again. Probably starting to trade above, above this trend line. And this has been rising consistently here. All right. Same thing for this 30 years bond market as well. So not bad. What has been a mess, and when the market has been all over the place is, the max, the Magnificent 7 or the Fantastic 8 or whatever. Just check. What do we have? Apple, parabolic move in Google, liquidation, Amazon. We have Microsoft buying from the 200. This is not good. There might be some downside here, aiming to close this gap in Microsoft. Netflix, boy, this seems like it's getting overextended. All right. Meta has been really bad. This can have a big rally as well. Look at this gap that we have here, right? At least aiming to the 200 moving average here. Tesla doesn't look good here. Right? There's something like this potentially happening in Tesla. Nvidia has very similar chart to Tesla, and it has been influenced by these portfolios being sold. And something like this may also happening on Tesla, but on Nvidia. But this market is stronger than Tesla, right? Now, the market that has been lagging here is Nasdaq. And I think, or it looks like Nasdaq is going to be the key for this rally to be sustained. What the heck was that? I noticed what happened where this market is. This is the ES. Russell was the first one to reach the 50, followed by the Dow. There's potential for this market to keep going higher. This is extremely short. We may see some kind of rally or short covering rally over here. Nasdaq seems to be the weakest one here, right? It may form some sort of range. I noticed that this market is between the 50 and the 100. It's an area where most traders don't like to trade. I'd rather stay out of this kind of markets, start trading when there is something up here or maybe something down here. Like for example, what's happening here in the ES, but the ES is reaching this reference here, which is the high of this range here, right? The market, this market has reached it and looked below this range, came back, and now is targeting this high here. What is this number in the ES? Well, same goes for Dow. Okay, I remember that was, not that it was, but I decided to remove that reference and consider this distribution close as the high of that lower range. And the ES went from taking the low of the range and failing to close the monthly distributions, failing to close these distributions, to check the opposite side of the range, basically. Now, look at how weak this upper side is. We have the 6800, which is another very visual reference that traders love to have, or love to trade. Just check that. You know, you got multiple references in the upper side. Notice this also. Let's move this so I can see it here. What is this? This is the firecracker potential effect that we have right below the distribution close. Here is this one. What is that? Let me open this. Look at this high, and this high gather very close to each other, and which is typically a trade for short-term traders, right? Because you know that there are stops above this high, there is stops above this high, there is stops above this high. You know, hitting one of these can trigger a chain reaction, right? And what do you have below? We have more stops. You have two stops, 2 periods highs stops here, and 2 periods highs just a little bit lower than that. And right below, look at where this market is right now. Check this high and compare it to this high here. Can you see? This high is the same that this one. So we have stops here, stop here, stops here, stops here, stop here as well. Why I say that this market may have reached some sort of area in which it needs some rebalancing. Notice that the trend has not been interrupted. It's still a trending day to the upside. There is no reason, or at least for me, to short a market like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to join, we're going to merge these 2 days here, because I am interested in these 2 highs already. I might even join this one. Let's join that one too. All right, I got that, and I got these 2 also in the lower side. I'm going to match with this one here. This is another reference, the 66. This is an important reference also for the intraday. And now I can make my charts. I can zoom it. I can zoom it. Zoom in. Right? Actually, this is not. Okay, right there. This was a split profile actually. It was not different. This was a split. Okay. We have another relation. Notice how this is something that happens all the time. Traders shorting a market, right? And many times you can see the accumulation here, trying to get lower here, right? Another set of traders buying just a couple ticks below this. All right. Now you have stops in this area, but now it seems, the market is now dealing with these stops that were left behind 6-7 days ago, and what we are seeing here might be something that we might have to carry for a couple days, or maybe more before the market comes back and check. Notice where the volume is coming. This accumulation, this high block of volume in Nasdaq has just popped up here right now, and it seems like we're going to have something here. This is where the market closed yesterday. We have volume coming. This is slightly higher from where it was yesterday. We got something down here as well. The market has not checked this ones out, and there's more coming as the market keeps going higher. I'm going to pay special attention to Nasdaq, because I think that market holds the key now for to sustain the rally in the other indices. Now, all the other indices, or all the other indices in general, Russell, Dow, Nasdaq, and the ES, all of them are trending higher today. Today's a trend day for all of them. All of them are to the upside. All of them are checking the same references. And when that happens, usually the movement has better odds of or in this case, right, because it's going to the upside, has better odds of upside continuation. They also retracement, or also falling back to the areas from all these started are very low. Of course, randomness is something we have to deal with all the time, and we have to be prepared. If anything comes out of nowhere, we never know it's going to happen. We have to be ready to deal with that. Okay. Upper side. Notice this volume here. Notice this volume here. There's some attempt to downside here, to go to the downside. If these ones don't have success doing that, and I have this reference, which is the low. This is the low. This distribution here. Right? If these shorts don't have success here, and remember, it all started also. If you check, if all started, I will need to undo the splits here. Okay, all of this started here. when the market failed to close in the upper side, and it rather closer to the downside with a pullback almost or very close to hard back, or very close to the 600, and the opening wasn't able to take this little reference. If you can replay this day, you can pay attention to this the beginning of L period. Pay attention to that, or you can replay those two last periods. This little thing has a lot to do with what is happening here, with what is happening today as well. Really, and this is the thing, right? This is really little pieces of information that seems to be unrelated to what's happening now, but if you really look deeper, or you are paying attention to what's going on, you will start to notice, we will start to notice that what is happening now has a lot to do with what happened before. Sometimes the trade that I take, or we take today, has been selling, has been preparing the past 2, 3, sometimes even 4, 5, 6 days. It is a thin market, in my opinion, even though there is increased volume. Yesterday, for example, I think there's no depth in this market. Most just short-term trading. But the fact that it's short-term trading, it doesn't mean, right, it cannot rally long distances. I'm not trying to contradict, or I am not trying to go against any movement here. If any, I feel happy to identify what's happening, and then gauge if the movement has some strength or some good odds or better odds, or if my risk is low if I want to take a trade. For what I see now, for example, what I'm going to record this day as a trend day, but a really weak trend day. The profile is very elongated. It already has 3 distributions, both in Nasdaq and the ES. But the potential to the upside is still there. If now I am starting to think something. Remember that movement we have on Friday, now the one I was talking about, the liquidation that happened when the market couldn't take the daily high. Something like that may happen tomorrow if these highs, or if the highs that I was talking about with potential to be taken today are not taken in this session. Look at that. We have another inside bar. Market's opening at the high of the inside bar. How much is 60? How much are these options? The 80. How much are that? 82 points. Oh. 3 points is not that bad. There is an attempt to sell here. same thing is happening. Same thing that happened in ES now is happening in Nasdaq. This market has traded twice back inside previous day range. What about these highs here? 60. That's a 68. Huh. How much are the 68? 25. Half point. That's not bad. There might be some play here. I want to see, but it's too early for me. Maybe if the market trades a couple periods more inside what period is this? Let me check. Maybe inside G, right? Or at least above this area, or not closing against that. I will use this reference. Let me see. Let me check. Let me change this one. Copy and move. I will use this reference here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a rectangle here. This one here. Okay, I'm going to use this one as a reference. And this is the lower distribution, the distribution in the center. I want to see if this market can close this reference. And this will be support for me, but I'm just making up some references here. Save chart, okay, save it. I have saved. Look at these lows, come on, man. Come on, look at that. What the heck is down here? What the heck is up here? This is not good. The risk here is too high. Really. Very thin, very. There's no depth in this market. What I would like better here is if the market does something like this, for example, something like they did here, right? But to the downside, maybe getting closer to this accumulation here, and the market just starts to dry here, right? Dries here. Now it stops a couple ticks from this one, which will give it another. You have 2 ticks here, 2 ticks here. Having another 2 ticks here kind of like weakens this trend. So I don't think that is possible. We may have, I would love to have something down here, right? Just short of even getting inside this area here. The same thing. Same thing for the ES up here. I mean Nasdaq. Okay. All right, look at that. Let's make this chart bigger. This is something. It seems like there is something interesting happening here. This line here is the high of this day. Alright. No blocks, no big differential. I want to see some reds here and then followed by purples and whites. The risk of this low being taken is that it can then target the 50, and it can target this low as well. Okay, so that was important for this market at least not to trade below this low here. Now it's trying here. It's kind of emotional, very emotional. The halfback has already moved above 0, which can signal that it can move to this day here, for which the market needs to move twice this distance all the way up to here, or maybe even moving halfback up to here. That would put the market close to the 6,800. Oh, look at that! Look at what happened here. Still 10 minutes here. Now look at this penetration into this area of volume has been rejected. There's something different now here, right? The difference of this inside bar, for example, relative to this one, really at the center, right? Pretty well center, and this is bigger, almost like 80% the size of the host bar over here. It's not that good either, but it's better than what we have up here. All right. Look at that. Let's see if we have something here. I think it's all up to Nasdaq. Nasdaq, if Nasdaq can target this area, that movement may carry the ES also towards the 6,800, and that can put the market really close to this firecracker effect. This area that has potential for firecracker effect, that non-excess here, non-excess here, distribution close and non-excess above that as well. Okay, this is another attempt to take this area out. This is the second time it's attempt this the market is attempting to take this area. Let's increase the size of Nasdaq so we can see Nasdaq as well here. Actually, I don't like this one. It's too big here. It's too volatile. This market is too volatile. It kind of like make me lose perspective if I increase the size. Okay, there's another attempt here to take this loss, to take this volume. This can be a good area to I mean, the day, what worries me here is the action that happened during the weekly opening. We are 15 minutes into this period. I think it is all up to Nasdaq. Nasdaq now has these two areas of volume here. This one here, maybe even here. It's fighting between these. Which one is going to be taken? This one or this one here? Now, if this one is taken, this is the potential upside. If this one is taken, this area. Let me see some downside from here. Look at where this low is. This is no good. This is no good. Look at where this low is. Right, a little bit below hard back, just a couple ticks here. This is pretty dangerous here. Pretty dangerous. Alright guys, I guess I don't have too much more to say here. Okay, I don't want this market to come back below that. Have a wonderful rest of the day.